A mental health crisis can happen to anyone, and it's important to know the resources that are available. Now, in just 2.5 weeks, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline will change its number, and help will be just 3 buttons away. News 19's Bowen Kidrovich joins us now with a look at how that new number will help meet the growing need for crisis intervention. Bowen?
Yeah, Dustin, starting July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline will become 988 everywhere in the country. The goal is to improve access for those in dealing with a mental crisis. As Mental Health America says, nearly 20% of adults are experiencing a mental illness. Locally, the director of Great Rivers 211 says the situation is getting worse.
Mental health has been an issue for us. I think no one's a stranger to the news that it's getting worse. Between 1999 and 2018, the number of suicides in the United States has increased by over 35%.
Carla Lundeen says suicide is now the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. She says that many different factors can attribute to mental illness. A factor that every American went through was the COVID-19 pandemic.
We were isolated for a long time. Some people had to step away from their support systems, which was really tough.
And Carla is expecting cases to continue to rise locally.
Great Rivers 211, we take thousands of crisis calls every year. So the last couple of years, it's been anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 crisis calls. And this year, in 2022, we are on a pace to surpass those numbers.
Operations Supervisor at La Crosse County Public Safety Communications says a 988 call goes through 1 out of 180 centers around the United States. If an emergency situation arises during a call, proper assistance will be at disposal.
If the person in crisis calls 988 and the crisis counselor on that end of the line determines that law enforcement or medical is needed, they will be able to get that information to us to make that response.
Lynch says 988 is a more efficient way to get the help you need.
The response mechanism has ramped up, and by having a 3-digit number instead of a 1-800 number to remember to dial when you do need help, it makes it easier for the person in crisis to get a hold of the help that's needed. La
Crosse County Dispatch may also receive calls of mental distress. Lynch says that many of the La Crosse police officers are trained in crisis intervention. And Dustin, if the situation presents itself, officers can contact the La Crosse County Mobile Crisis Response Team and have a team member talk with the person in crisis or go to where is needed.
A lot of resources out there. Thanks, Bowen. The Great Rivers 211, of course, offers free, confidential, 24-hour connection to those resources just by dialing 211. And until July 16th, the Suicide Lifeline is still 1-800-273-8255.